Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial for informatics practices of class 11th. Today we'll be discussing the third part of the chapter, data handling. As in the previous video tutorials, we have already studied what is the importance of the operators and what are the different type of operators which can be used in the Python programming language. Okay, and you know that in any programming languages, the operators are going to play the most crucial roles. Why? Because all the calculations and the operations which are to be held in that particular programming is totally dependent over the use of the operators. Okay, now today we'll be seeing that how we can decide whether which operator is to be used first and which operator is to be used the very next. Okay, so without any further delay, let's begin. First thing is the operator precedence. Now from the name itself you can understand that we are talking about the precedence here. Precedence means to give the importance to something. Okay, to prefer something before any other thing. Okay, like if you are having a choice that you have given an option to eat something of your favorite and something which you hate. Okay, and if you are being given an option to choose among them, obviously you are going to prefer the favorite one. Okay, so you are giving the precedence to the favorite one as compared to the thing which you are hating. Okay, in the similar way, Python doesn't hate something here in the operators, but what is the thing here is that some of the operators are given a higher preference as compared to the rest of the operators. Okay, so there is a hierarchy level which has been maintained in this Python programming language, and today we'll try to find out what is that level. Okay, or what is the precedency level of taking the operators. So here you can say when an expression or a statement involves multiple operators, Python resolves the order of execution through operator precedence. Okay, that only I have mentioned that if there will be multiple operators, Python has to choose that which operator it has to go first. Okay, and then which will be the very next operator, and similarly which will be the next third operator, and the similar way all the operators will be evaluated according to a certain set of order. Okay, and that certain set of order of execution is known as the operator precedence. Okay, so the chart of the operator precedence from highest to lowest for the operators is given below. Let's see what is that particular chart. Here you can see we are having two columns, that is first is the operator and the second is the description of that operator. So you can see here the first one, this, let's choose a pointer here for our convenience. See this one, this is the parenthesis. Okay, we are not going to mention it as brackets, we will mention the name as parenthesis in Python programming. Okay, so this description is saying the name of the operator is parenthesis. Okay, which is basically being used for grouping certain set of expressions or the operations. Okay, now second one is the exponentiation operator. Exponentiation, as you know, is being used for giving the power. Okay, suppose if you want to write 3 to the power 5 or 7 to the power 3, all these operations which will require the power or the square root or the cube root or anything which is related to the powers, that will be covered in this exponentiation. Okay, now this is an example of the negative bitwise NOR operator. Okay, we say this as bitwise NOR. Okay, NOR means opposite of OR. Whatever the result of OR will be there, this NOR is going to negate that result. Okay, suppose if you are writing A or B as true, then the A nor B operation will produce the false output. Okay, so simply you can say that whatever will be the output of OR, this NOR operator is going to negate that result. Okay, if the result is true, then NOR will make it false. If the result is false, then NOR will make it as true. So totally it is dependent upon OR operations. Okay, and it is going to negate it. Next thing is this plus x and minus x, which you say that a unary operator is being used here. If the plus symbol is there, obviously the number is not going to be changed. If you are writing plus 5 or 5 is similar, but if you are going to write minus 5 and 5, then these two are termed as different things, because this the sign which you are having before the particular numbers is going to decide that which type of number you are going to take, whether it is going to be taken as a positive number or a negative number. Okay, so basically it is the unary operator. Okay, now the second one is this multiplication, division, float division, remainder. Okay, so all these operations are mentioned already. We have discussed what these operators are. Now let's try to find out what is the order among these. Okay, so you can see the order will be something like this. That means you have to go from top to bottom. Okay, that means whatever the expressions will be there, if you are going to have these set of operators among them, then the order should be like this. Okay, that means this is going to be given the highest priority, that is the first one. It will be given the highest priority, then this will be the given the next priority, and then this, and then this, and the similar way the last priority will be given to this or. Okay, so this is the way in which the operators are going to be precedence it. Okay, and now see this is the lowest one obviously, so the operator will go from highest to lowest with this precedence operators. Okay, now if you are confused with this, just you can relate it with the Bodmas rule which you follow in mathematics. Okay, there also you are having some mathematical operation, and certain set of operators are there for plus, minus, division, multiplication. Okay, so all that operators are to be sorted in a certain set of sequence, and that only is known as the Bodmer, that is bracket or division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. So it is given already an order that first you will solve the bracket, then you will go for off, then you will go for division, then multiplication, and then addition, and then subtraction. So that certain set of order is already set for the evaluation of that operators. Okay, for the expression. In the similar way here also for Python programming, the compiler or the interpreter needs to understand that which operator has to be taken first and which operator is to be taken the very next. So to sort that problem out, we are having this operator precedence. I think it is clear. Let's move to the topic. The next thing is operator associativity. Now this may confuse you that why we are using associativity here. Now let's try to see the definition first. Python allows multiple operators in a single expression. For example, A is less than B plus 2 is less than C. Now suppose here we are having this expression. Okay, here we are having A is less than B plus 2 is less than C. Already there are three operators. See, this one is one operator, this plus is again an operator, this less than is again an operator. So basically three operators are there. Now the thing is that in our chart we have already seen the operators were having certain set of orders, but if you want to just have a look again, I'm showing you the look. See, this was your chart. Okay, and here you can see that certain set of operators were having the same precedence order. Now see, here we have given highest to lowest priority, but what about these? See, this multiplication, division, float division and this modulus operator all are on the same level. Okay, so when the problem of same level will be there, you cannot give an order to them because they are at the same level. So how you will decide that which operator is to be taken first and which operator is to be taken the next? Okay, and here also you can see the relational operators are there. Here you are having the comparison operators here, greater than, less than or equal to, all these are having the similar precedence order. So how you will decide that how, means which operator is to be given the first preference and which is to be given the second preference? Okay, so sort out this problem of the same level operator precedency, we have got the operator associativity. Now see, what was there in operator associativity is that if you are having this expression. Okay, now this great less than and this less than are on the same level, so you cannot choose that which operation is to be done first and which is to be done on the next. So why this was a problem? Because in the operator precedency we were having the same level of operation. Now to sort out that problem, here we are having operator associativity. That only it is mentioning Python allows multiple operators in single expression. If the operator used in an expression have different precedence, the higher precedence operator will be evaluated first, as we have discussed in the previous slide. But if there are multiple operators with the same precedence, we need to look for the operator associativity. So here we are having multiple operators at the same precedence level, so we will have to look for the operator associativity. Now what is associativity? It is the order in which an expression Expression, you know, only expression is something which is having multiple operators of same precedence. Okay, here for this associativity we are referring that multiple operators of the same precedence are present. Okay, so we'll have to sort out the solution, and for the solution we are having this associativity. Okay, so it will tell you the order of expression evaluation. Okay, almost all operators have left to right associativity except this exponentiation having right to left associativity. Okay, so if you are having the expressions in which the multiple operators are present, but in that multiple operators there can be certain set of operators which are having the same precedence operation. So for having a solution at that level you have to go for the associativity. Okay, and in associativity all the operators are having the left to right associativity. That is, the operator coming on the left will be sorted first, then we'll move to the next right operator, and then to the next right operator. In a similar way we'll move to the extreme right. Okay, but if in that expression the operator is of exponentiation, that is this one, the power, for that case you are going to consider the operation from right to left. Okay, that will get clear with this example. See, if we are having this example 7 into 8 by 5 floor division by 2, floor division you already know that it will neglect the decimal part of the division result. Okay, now see here we are not having any exponentiation operator. Okay, and this operator here is having the precedence level same. Why? Because already I have told that certain set of operators are there which are having the similar precedence level. Okay, so that precedence level is being used here, and here you can see that we are having this division and this multiplication and floor division operations in this example. So these three operators are having the same precedence level. So if the same precedence levels is there, you have to go for the operator associativity. And since no exponentiation is involved, we will move from left to right. That means first the result of 7 into 8 will be taken out. That is 56. Then 56 will be divided by 5. It will give you 11 point something, and that 11 point something will be floor division with 2. So it will neglect the decimal part, and whatever the result will be there, it will show. So 11 divided floor division 2 will give you 5. Why? Because that division will give you 5 point something, and that decimal part is being removed because of the floor division operator. So the result will be 5.0. Okay, the decimal part has been removed and it has been replaced with 0. Okay, now suppose this you are having. Now see, the thing is here that the brackets has to be given the first priority, because this multiplication and this floor division are having the same associativity level, sorry, the precedence level, but this bracket is having the higher precedence order. So first this bracket will be sorted out. So the result will be 8 by 5 first. Okay, that will be 1 point something. Okay, then 1 point something will be evaluated with this 2. Okay, so 1 point something, that floor division with 2 will give you 0 point something, and something will be removed because that decimal part we have to not include in the result. So the result will be 0 for this part. Okay, and when that 0 will be multiplied with this 7, so 0 multiplied by 7 will give you 0. So the result will be 0 0.0. Okay, I think you are getting it how to solve the expressions. Similarly, if here you are having 7 into 8 by 5 floor division by 2, again you have to go for the brackets first. So first you will sort this one. Okay, 5 double floor division by 2, so the result will be 2 point something, so the decimal part will be neglected, so the result will be 2 from this. And then 8 divided by 2 will give you 4.0, and then 4.0 multiplied by 7 will be giving you the result as 28.0. So the output will be 28.0. Okay, I think you are clear with it, with the operator associativity. And whenever the expressions will be there, you have to take care that first you will go for the operator precedence, and if at the same level you are having the problem of sorting, at that time you will go for the associativity. Okay, now let's move further, have an example. Now I've already told you that this exponentiation operator is having the right to left associativity. So now you'll move from here to here. Okay, not from here to here, but from here to here, that is right to left. So when you'll go for right to left, it will be taken something like this: 3 to the power 2. So what is the result of 3 to the power 2? 3 3 is 9. So this will yield as 9, and that 9 will be taken as the power for 3. So the result will be 3 to the power 9. Okay. So the result of 3 to the power 9 is 19683. So the operation result is 19683. Okay. So as you can see here, for all the above examples, here we have moved from right to left. Sorry, the left to right, because no exponentiation was involved. But here, since the exponential was involved, so we have moved from right to left. Okay, I think it is clear to you. Let's move further. Now let's see what are expressions. Okay, in mathematical language also, you know that uh, whenever you are having any equation or something, before that you need to solve the expressions. Okay, you must have heard about algebraic expressions, how to solve them. In the similar way, Python also solves the expressions. So what is expression? Before seeing what is expression, we have to see what is atom. Okay, so an atom is something that has a value. Identifiers, literals, strings, lists, tuples, etc. are all atoms. In different scientific languages also, if you are saying about physics or the chemistry, there also you have heard about the atoms. So what is atom? Basically, atom is a structural and functional unit. Okay, now it is building block also, you can say anything with that. So it is a fundamental block, it is a building block, the structural and functional unit, anything you can say. Okay, so in Python programming language also, all the programs are built with the help of these certain small atoms. Okay, and now these atoms can be identifiers, they can be literals, they can be strings, and they are arranged in a proper sequence to form an expression. Okay, so when you say expression, you will say that an expression in Python is any valid combination of operators and atoms. Why we are saying valid of combination? Because the combination should be in such a way that it yields a result. Okay, if we are going to use something invalid combination, then that is not going to give you a result. Okay, that will not yield a result, so that expression cannot be evaluated. So what we are considering here, that expression is a Python, in Python, is basically valid combination of operators and atoms. An expression is composed of one or many operations. You already know that whenever you are referring to expression, that means in that expression there can be multiple operators also, and we have to solve these multiple operators to solve the particular operations like addition, subtraction, division, anything. Okay, now basically, what are the types of expressions we are having? First is the arithmetic. Arithmetic, you know that whenever we are referring to the positive, means plus, minus, that is addition, subtraction, division, all these operations are under this arithmetic expressions. Okay, example is given here: a plus 3 minus b. So if you have to give a proper definition that what is meant by this arithmetical expression, you can say that arithmetical expressions involves numbers, and in numbers you can say integers, floating point numbers, complex numbers. All these are going to be involved in this arithmetic expressions. Okay, second is the relational expressions. So the name indicates relational means we have to show the relation or the comparisons. So an expression having literals or variables of any valid type and relational operators is a relational expression. That means if you are having any valid type of operators of the relational operators, in that way, if you are going to create an expression, that expression will be known as the relational expression. Here you are having this greater than b, a is greater than b. So this you have used in a proper sequence to create a relational expression. It can also be like this: a is greater than b plus 2 is greater than 3. So in that also you are creating a legal combination, okay, a valid combination. So whenever the combination will involve some comparison operators, that will yield a relational expression. Next is the logical. So when you are going to say the logical expression, so any expression having literals or variables of any valid type and logical operators is a logical expression. So again, you need a valid combination of operators, and the operators should be involved with logical operators. Logical operators means or, not, and all these type of operators are considered as logical operators. Here you are given an example also, that example a or b. Okay, next is the string expression. So in a string expression, you are having the strings involved in the operations. So if you have to add the strings, you have to multiply the strings, all these type of expressions will be considered as the string expression. Now string expressions will be having the concatenation, replication, duplication. There are many things under them, so we'll consider it later on, okay, when we'll be discussing about the strings in detail. So right now you can say that any expression which involves the use of the strings and their addition or subtraction or multiplication, that type of expressions will be considered as a string expression. Okay, let's move further with the details of expression. Here you can say that evaluating arithmetic expressions. You all are familiar with other arithmetic expressions and their basic evaluation rules right from your primary and middle school years. Why we are saying this? Because you have studied about the BODMAS rule in mathematics also. So you follow a certain set of parameters or certain set of rules to solve them. Okay, that is the bracket, then off, then division, then multiplication, then addition, then subtraction. And by using them, you are solving some mathematical expressions. In a similar way, by using those logics and the charts which we have introduced in the first slide, you can solve any arithmetic expression. Okay, so for evaluating arithmetic expression, these set of rules are there which you have to follow. The rules are that determines the order of evaluation in expression considering the operator precedence. That is, you have to consider the operator precedence first. Then, as per the evaluation order for each of the sub expression, in the form of this example, okay, means first you will see for the precedence order, and then in that precedence order, you have to go for the sub expression, then evaluate each of its operands or arguments. Okay, means there's a certain set of rules which you have to follow. It is already mentioned here. You can see this from here, and you can repeat the result according to this expression for all the given expressions. Okay, so these set of rules will be followed for all the expressions which are involving the evaluation of arithmetic expressions. Okay, now the next thing is the implicit type conversion. Now the name implicit itself means that automatic. Okay, so implicit means you are not going to do it, it is being done by itself. Okay, it is going to be performed automatically. So an implicit type of conversion is a conversion performed by the compiler without programmer's intervention. Without programmer's interventions mean that you have, if you are a programmer, you don't have to convert it, it is going to do it by default. Okay, so you don't have to intervene for it, you don't have to make the conversions here. By default some conversions are done with the Python compiler. Okay, so these type of conversions are considered as the implicit type conversions. It is also known by this name coercion. Okay, an implicit conversion is applied generally whenever different data types are mixed in an expression. Okay, so if there are certain set of expressions in which one data type is different and the other data type is different, so what Python needs to do, it has to figure out a single data type in which the result should be yielded. Okay, so for getting that result, Python itself convert some data type to a different data type. Suppose there are involvement of integers, float, and then string type, and all these operators are mixed together to solve to form a expression. So you know that the expression is going to finally result a single value. So that single value is have is going to have a particular data type. So this Python has to check or to calculate that which particular expression has to be chosen in which manner, so that the final result has to be given a data type accordingly. Okay, now suppose it will get clear in this example also. For example, here if we are having consider the following code containing mixed arithmetic expression, what will be the final result and the final data type. So here ch equal to 5 we are given. Okay, so this ch is the variable and having the value 5. Okay, and you can understand this also that 5 is a number, so basically ch is an integer. Okay, I is equals to 2, again it is an integer. F1 is equals to 4, again it is an integer. Now suppose we are having these parts also included in this. db is equals to 5.0, a floating point number, because the decimal numbers are considered as the floating point number. Then fd is equals to 36.0, again a floating point number. And now involvement of these ch, I, fl, db, fd are being done for this expression a is equals to ch plus I by d. Why it is called expression? Because you are using a valid combination of the symbols okay, or the operators to form an expression. Okay, so this is the expression 1, and similarly again you have used the valid combination and you have created an expression 2. Okay, and if you are going to print a and print b, what is going to happen? Let's see internally. Okay, so how the operator will proceed? As per the operator precedence, expression 1 will be internally evaluated as ch plus I. Why before this? Because we have to understand that first the brackets will be solved, and among those brackets, here we are going for the internal bracket first. Okay, so first the result of ch plus I will be evaluated. Now you know that ch is having the integer value and I is also having the integer value, so integer plus integer is going to give you the integer value. Okay, now when the division will take place among the result of this and this, so here we are having one value as integer and other is having the floating point. Now Python needs to decide that what will the data type of the final result of this, because one is in the integer and one is in the floating point. So what it will do, it will automatically convert the integer to a floating point and then calculate the result with floating point and floating point, and the result will be given as a floating point number. Okay, so you are not going to do this. Python is going to convert it by itself. So what it has done, it has converted this integer into a floating point number, and then this floating point number and this floating point number will be considered as per the division operation, and then the result will be given a floating point value. Okay, so here you can see the step 2 is having the int to floating point conversion, and this you are not doing. It is done without the programmer's intervention, and this type of conversion is also known as the coercion or the implicit type conversion. Okay, so overall final data type for expression 1 will be floating point number, and the expression will be validated as like this. So first ch will have the value 5, then I will have value 2, then 5 plus 2 will give you 7, and 7 divided by 5.0 will give you 7.0 divided by 5.0. Why? Because this 7 is an integer type, so integer will be converted to floating point, so 7 will become 7.0, and then 5.0 is already there, so 7.0 by 5.0 will give you the result as 1.4. Okay, you need to understand this very means in a detailed form. Okay, because if you are not having an understanding for the operations, you will face problems when you are going to have difficult expressions. So basic expression solving must be known to each and every student, so that when the complex programming will be there, they'll be able to handle all these type of situations. Okay, now let's move to our second expression, that is this one. Here we are having b is equals to fd by db into ch by 2. Again fd is having the float value. Here you can see fd is having the decimal value, so it is a floating point. db is again a floating point, so fd by db will be solved first, and floating divided by floating will give you a floating number, and now the result of this floating number will be multiplied with this integer type. Again we are having two different types of data types. First is the float, second is the int. So we need to have a final data type for these operations. So the implicit type conversion will take place, and this float will be this integer will be converted to float again. So the final result will be in float, and this float and this integer are again have to be calculated. So again this integer will be converted to float, and this float and float will give you the final data type for the expression 2 as the floating point number. Okay, so this is how the implicit type conversion works. Okay, now if you want to convert data type according to your choice, that if you want to convert a string to float or float to number, means integer, or to string, anything, so that type of conversion can also be done. So that will be done with the help of programmer's intervention, and that type of conversion will be called as the explicit type conversion. So I think it is enough for today. We will discuss about explicit type conversions also in the next video tutorials. So till then students, take care. We'll meet in the next video lecture. Thank you students.